how to move through fear, blame, and doubt. And I'm going to talk about that because those are the only things I know. Those are the main things I know, I shall say. And I'm going to talk about that. And I'm going to do a training, a webinar free next Wednesday, the 9th, because I want to explain this. Many of you know I released a program, Your Life Operating Instructions, and it was challenging to explain to people what that was and why it was so effective and why it would work. So I thought the best way to do that is to do a little training, a little webinar. I'll give you some tips and I'll tell you my journey, how I got there and how this was given to me, how this was created. And the reason I'm doing is because I just had a consultation with a couple of people, these folks who want to say, we want to take you really big, but you're not charging enough money. And I've always been that person. I've always been in that place. But I said, I'm not ready for that yet. I'm going to tell you the story, why this is so important to me, especially at this time. I've never done anything just for the money. So that's been a problem for me, and I'm changing that now, as all of my advisors are saying, you got to change that. But I did that, and I operated in this way for a reason. I was scared most of my life. I was terrified. I wrote a book on fear. Many of you might know that. And I talked about how I moved through that. Now, we all come into the world with different things. We all come in with different conditions, different things that we've brought with us that we are meant to use and work through. Mine was fear. I was terrified of absolutely everything. And you would say that I could have been justified because at 12 years old, because all this started really young for me. At 12 years old, I fell through the ice in the river and I didn't know how to swim. And I saw my life leaving, and I thought, okay, wait a minute, maybe I'm supposed to still be here. But it still put the terror in me, and I carried that through everything. Post-traumatic stress disorder, yeah, it's real, and you can carry it around and it'll just affect everything that you do in your life. And I did that for a long time, and it was challenging for me to own myself, to be confident, to speak to people, anything. And it just kept getting worse and worse. And then because of that, I had every kind of disaster that you can possibly imagine. And then I blamed everybody else for it. It was everyone else's fault because you did this to me, you're in my way, I shouldn't have been there, all of that stuff. And then I thought, well, okay, that didn't get me anywhere. Now what? But then I knew that I was given something that could help people because I had moved through so many things in my life to get to here, to be 71 years old and still alive, was like, that was pretty tremendous. Maybe you want to give that to some people. Maybe you want to tell them what that is. Maybe you want to help them, especially now because a lot of people are really freaking out because of what's going on in the world. The world's falling apart, people think. I don't think that I know what's going on. It's causing all of us to become more. That's what it is. But we have to be willing to take those steps. Now, so I had to go through this process. So first, I had all the fear, more than you can possibly imagine. And then I started blaming everyone else. I mean, I got really wise then. I started going to counseling. I went to therapy, and then I figured out all the reasons that happened. What made my life so terrible now is because of all those things that happened before, or the conditions that are going on in the world now. It's probably that. No, it was never that. It was the doubt. It was the doubt. We move through that. Everybody does it. Everybody has it to a certain degree. They may not be stopped by it like I was. Maybe you were. That, no, I couldn't possibly have something that's valuable. I couldn't possibly be here to offer something to the world that was going to cause me to become happy and successful and wealthy. Well, yeah, you are, because everyone was. Everyone was given that. There was no difference in anyone that was born. Everyone has the same thing. However, we have different life paths. And so we don't always figure that out. I couldn't figure that out. I knew that I was carrying things from my family, my ancestors, or my environment, or whatever it might have been, that I needed to work through now. And it was challenging for me. And it was different than anyone else. It was different than my brothers. I have 3 brothers. Nothing. It was a different experience. And so I felt very isolated, as a lot of people do. But it was purposeful. All of that gave me the ability to create this program, to receive this program, Your Life Operating Instructions, that blew me away in how it was causing people to really change. I was doing a talk this morning with some of the people who were in the program, and one person said, I need you to kind of tell me what's going on. And he said, well, I've done a lot of personal development things. I've done a lot of trainings, but this one seemed to be more effective. It seemed to get me there quicker and faster. Some of the other things I got bored with. This I stayed with, and it was fun. Those kinds of things. And I said, oh, that couldn't have possibly come from me. See, that's the doubt again. We all have it. And so what I do when I work with my clients, I can see your doubt. I can see what's going on, and I can explain it because I've experienced it. I can see your fear because I've experienced that as well. But I also know how to get through it. I also know how you can get through it, and I also know that every single person has a wealth of information. They have genius within them if they would get out of the way and allow it to come in and to stop doubting themselves. But see, it's a process. Maybe you got to move through the fear. You're afraid of what other people are going to think, or they're going to think you're nuts because you have this idea that you're going to do something or that you were meant to be more. And so then you're going to look at your life and say, this is a mess and it's everybody else's fault. And then you stay stuck exactly where you are because you can't change because everyone else has to change for you to have that wonderful life. But then what you can decide to do is get over your doubt. And that's what I had to do. I've told many of you about it. Back in December, I had to put up my program to see because the doubt had to end. And then when it ended, I said, okay, now I've got something. But then I have other people coming at me now saying, well, you should be charging more money. And that's the thing that I'm working out now. But regardless, okay, I am saying come to the webinar next Wednesday. If you can't be there in person, just register. You'll receive the replay. But I'm making it interactive. I want to be able to answer your questions. I want to be able to figure out and tell you what I feel, what might be happening with you in this process of coming to become an actualized being or becoming successful. The only thing that holds any of us back from success are those things. That's it. The fear, the blame, and the doubt. And you can get over it.